Hey friend, hey. Can we say that? Is that a thing anymore? I don't know. Anywho, my name is Heather Taylor. I'm a Golden Director here at Pharmacy, and we are going to talk about the infamous brows. Okay? Do the brows, don't do the brows. What do we do? Me personally, I never did my brows before. Honestly, I didn't even have them waxed. It was like whatever they look like, they look like. But I will tell you, when you start tweaking your brows a little bit, it can really change your face. It can almost be like a face lift and really just accentuate your face even more. So I'm going to show you my personal favorite. I am not a pro at brows. I will 100% tell you that. I don't claim to be a makeup artist. Makeup enthusiast, yes. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I use. Two things: a brush, dual-ended. One is a spoolie, one is angled, and it's pretty thin. Okay, so that's one thing you're going to need if you start doing brows. And my personal preference is brow powder. Now, this powder is a little bit different. The consistency of it is a little bit different, but I love it and it works amazing. The consistency is more so it's going to stay, okay? It's not going to budge. You don't need to go back in with any sort of wax or top coat on it or anything like that. It stays, okay? So it's not as powdery as, say, an eyeshadow. So I'm going to show you what I do, how I figure out where everything needs to go. Now, I have an amazing hairdresser that is amazing at waxing my brows and giving me a really good shape to start with. So if you are not somebody that's ever done that, I'm going to highly suggest maybe 2 or 3 times a year, let somebody wax your eyebrow, and then you can kind of go in with tweezers and pluck them out, whatever kind of strays. It will make your life a lot easier when you start trying to fill in your brows or shape them out a little bit more. It just makes your life easier, okay? So when you're looking at your brows, so you can tell I'm missing some stuff up here and I'm missing on the underneath of both sides. So when you want to figure out where do they start, where do they end, how do I shape them, take that brush and you see the little bit of a ridge in your nose off to your nostril. Take it and run your brush straight up through the corner of your eye. That is where you want them to start, and you can even make a line. So I can even come in here and make like a little line for me to follow. Take that brush again, run it back along the edge of your nose, run it slap through your pupil, and right in there is where you want your arch to start to turn downward, okay? Take the brush again, run it to the outer corner of your eye, and right in there is where we want it to end, okay? So that's kind of your general mark. So here is what I do. I do my brows many different ways, but if I have somebody that's really just kind of starting out, this is how I do it. We want to stay kind of within the shape that we already have. We don't want to recreate the wheel necessarily unless you're missing a whole lot. So I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to hold it flat against me, okay? I'm not going straight in with it. I'm kind of going off to the side, okay? So I'm going to follow what I already naturally have, and I'm basically going to draw a line up to where my arch should be, okay? I'm going to come back and I'm going to draw from that arch to where it should end. I'm going to come in and draw another line, okay? So I'm going to pull this one away. We're going to hide that. We'll fix that in a little bit. Okay, so we have kind of the line that we want, right? I'm going to do the same thing on the top. I'm going to come where we want it to start. I'm going to connect it to our arch. Okay. There we go. And all I'm going to do is fill in with little flicks in the center. So we connected the dots and we're coloring in the center. How much simpler can we get, right? You can do this. Everybody is so scared to start doing their brows, but so worth it, okay? So then I'm just gonna kind of fill this in, run into through the arch, back to where I want it to stop, okay? And for me, where I'm a little bit missing in the front, I take it and I kind of tap it in, okay? How you want the front of your brow to look is 100% up to you, okay? Some people want more of a feathered look in the front. Some people want a boxier shape, and some people want it rounded. 100% personal preference. If you're not sure what you like, play with it. See what you like better. When you before you take your makeup off at night, add a little brow in there and just kind of play and be like, oh, does this look good? What about this? Nobody has to see it. Play around with it. And just go, okay? Just start doing it. But I promise you, it's just a really good way to finish off your look. It gives you almost an instant facelift. Like, look how much higher this side of my face looks versus this side, okay? And when you have eyeshadow on, oh my goodness, it is like, just, you know, when you add a pretty curtain to a window and it just makes it go, it just adds that extra little bit of spice. That's what your brows are gonna do. So same thing over here. I'm gonna come on that bottom line. I'm gonna draw it back up to where my arch. I'm going to top back up to my arch. I'm gonna fill in my back tail. And then I'm gonna flick the brush into the front. Okay, these are basic beginner brows. Don't worry about concealer. Don't worry about all that other stuff, okay? Get started somewhere. Now, these brows are also going to be sisters. They are not going to be twins. Okay? We just don't want them to be like distant cousins. Okay? We don't want distant cousins. Sisters, yes. Distant cousins, no. So we're just going to kind of, I'm going to feather that out. Okay? But it just adds that extra pizzazz. Our brow powder, and this is both available on my website, heathertaylormakeup.com. If you have any questions, not sure about something, find me on my social media accounts, send me a message, drop me a comment here, and as always, make sure you hit that subscribe button.